What's up, peers, and welcome to Bitcoin to the Max here on the World Crypto Network. Yesterday, we have talked a bit about the private key, which is a secret, non-scarce piece of information. It could be shared with anyone, but this is your password that you keep for yourself. Cool, though, is that out of this secret information, with some fancy elliptical curve digital signature, mathematical function, you can generate a corresponding public key in a way that anytime you use the same secret key, you will derive the same public key. And further, in a way that the public key alone, you only have access to this information, it is mathematically impossible to derive the secret information. And this is quite a neat cryptographic trick and can be used in many different forms, signatures. However, in Bitcoin, it is used to transact and to transfer the ownership over the scarce Bitcoin. So fundamentally, once you have generated the private key, you generate out of that, or you derive out of that, the public key. With some further math, you generate a public address, which is basically the public key, but hashed. And you can then broadcast this public key to anyone who is interested. This is not secret information. This is public information. Why? Because nobody can spend Bitcoin that correspond to this public key because they need the private key for this, right? And all that they can do is that these individuals can transact their own Bitcoin, which they control the private key, and push it to your public key, which of course you control. Thus, they advance the chain of digital signatures, which ultimately represent what a Bitcoin is. And they shift the access rights from their private key over to your public key in a way that only this individual that has access to the private key and can sign the transaction with it can ever again spend these Bitcoin. And therefore, if you lose access to this private key, you will not be able to spend the Bitcoin ever again. Cool is further that this push transaction towards the public key can be done without you. You do not need to be present in order to receive Bitcoin. All you need to do is somehow, somewhere, and somewhen share the information of your public key. And as soon as someone is broadcasting a transaction which sends some Bitcoin to this public key, then after you can send it yourself. And this is how the magic of private and public key cryptography works. And it is used in many different fields, like signing or verifying the information. And now in Bitcoin, it is used to send and receive scarce Bitcoin. And this is quite a tremendous innovation that we had here done by Satoshi Nakamoto. Peers, thank you very much for joining me here today on Bitcoin to the Max on the World Crypto Network. And this show is a Patreon and Tallycoin supporter early bird show. So if you go to patreon.com/WCN or tallyco.in/HillebrandMax, then you can get early access to all these videos as soon as I produce them, and not every day like everyone else. So thank you very much for joining me, and see you on the next show.